All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Roy Jones Jr. Expressed his thoughts on the Canelo Alvarez fight versus Dimitri Bivol, and Roy Jones Jr. says that Canelo Alvarez needs to stay away from Dimitri Bivol and look forward to fighting the rematch. And Roy Jones Jr. said he has Canelo Alvarez winning the rematch against Gennady Golovkin after the performance that Gennady Golovkin put on against Ryota Murata. So it's a perfect matchup for Canelo Alvarez to win and get back in the mix of things. So I'm going to break it down to y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please share that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news. And remember to hit that bell notification icon to get all the newest news that I release on boxing content daily. So with that being said, Roy Jones Jr. expressed his thoughts on the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol. And he was simply just breaking down, saying that Bivol was just too much for Canelo Alvarez to handle and stuff like that. And he should legitimately stay away from Dimitri Bivol because that style does not fit Canelo Alvarez's style, and so on and so forth. And Roy also stated that he should be looking forward to getting the rematch with Gennady Golovkin to put it into the bouts that they have. They basically going to fight 3 times. And I feel like that Canelo Alvarez is going to knock out Gennady Golovkin because Gennady Golovkin has shown that he's gunshot and he looks real old at the age of 40. If you guys look at the performance against Ryota Murata, Gennady Golovkin looked at winded in the 2nd round. So, with the case may be, this is an even fight for both guys. And I feel like that Canelo Alvarez, he still got a lot left to prove. But is Canelo Alvarez getting into a situation that his career could be like Roy Jones Jr.? Because when Roy Jones Jr. went up to heavyweight to fight John Ruiz for the WBA title, and then after being successful beating John Ruiz, Roy Jones Jr. was never the same guy. He went all the way up from heavyweight, and then he went all the way back down to 175 to fight Antonio Tarver, and he got knocked out. And then he started getting knocked out by guys like Danny Green and so on and so forth, and Tarver. And the list goes on. Roy Jones Jr. got knocked out on a consistent basis. It was because that Roy Jones Jr. kept fluctuating up and down in weight, and a lot of people feel like that Canelo Alvarez is doing the same thing. He's fluctuating up and down in weight, and like I said before, guys, when you move up in weight and move down in weight, it starts to take a toll on your body. It starts to take a toll on your boxing abilities that you usually are natural to. And you just simply start losing those abilities. Now, a lot of people feel like that when Canelo Alvarez fought Dimitri Bivol in this match, Canelo Alvarez looked as sluggish. He didn't look like the same Canelo Alvarez we used to seeing him applying the pressure right, using the defense, and so on and so forth. And Canelo Alvarez was just simply looking for one knockout punch to get Bivol out of there. But Bivol is a master class boxer, and he knew what Canelo Alvarez's game was to come. He knew what the game plan was on what Canelo Alvarez was doing. So whatever the case may be, and a lot of people feel like Canelo Alvarez could be going down the same road. Now, I said this before. Well, not me, but shout out to Fanon International Boxing. He said this before, and he said this previously on multiple occasions, that this guy has nearly 60 fights, and it's starting to take a toll on him. And he believes that Canelo Alvarez is out his prime. And seeing this performance from Canelo Alvarez, it starts to worry me that maybe his prime is starting to fade. Maybe his prime might start fading earlier than what Oscar De La Hoya prime started to fade. Because Oscar De La Hoya prime started to fade in early, like his early mid-30s. And Canelo Alvarez prime might start to fade in his early 30s because he's only 32 years of age. So maybe Canelo Alvarez is starting to lose a lot of stuff that we don't know about. We already knew that he didn't have the best footwork, and now his footwork seems to be shot a little bit. A lot of people feel like that Canelo Alvarez knees is gone. His knees, he lost his legs under him and stuff like that. I don't think that's the case, but it looks like he stumbled upon his legs and stuff like that. His legs starting to become gone. So Canelo Alvarez have a lot of miles on his legs, and you know, it's crazy to me that he can still put in the work in the gym as hard as he can, just like he does in the ring, and I think that all the wear and tear, all the pushing your body to the limit, all the training and stuff, you know, that stuff started to have a toll on your body. And I think that it's starting to take a toll on Canelo Alvarez at most, because Canelo Alvarez has 60 fights. The man is nearly close to 100-something fights. And like Canelo Alvarez said, he might have 5 years left in him. I don't see him having 5 years left in the game. Um, he cannot have a performance like this from a guy within Dimitri Bivol, a type of style like Dimitri Bivol, because if he start having performances like this and he can't make adjustment to the style like Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather, it's going to be a problem, and he's going to have to eventually get out the game, because if you're getting in there with the guy like Jamal Charlo, who's on his best night, a guy like David Benavidez who's on his best night, and maybe an old Gennady Golovkin who's seen this fight and he could do some film study on how to beat Canelo Alvarez and have the best of his night at his age, well, you're going to start going on this losing streak like Roy Jones Jr., and it's going to be hard to recover and bounce back from. And when you have that many fights in your career, and when you have a trainer like Eddie Reynoso that's not willing to push you to the limit, beyond your limits, and know your limitations, and simply he just wants the money in the bag at the end of the day, I feel like that, you know, it's going to take a toll for the worse. And maybe Canelo Alvarez is going in the phase that he can't keep fluctuating up and down the weight. We heard at one point that he was going to cruiserweight to fight Alexander Usyk and stuff like that. And Alexander Usyk said, "Catch my bluff. I'll definitely fight you. I'll come all the way back down to 200 some plus pounds." Well, people say it'll be hard for Alexander Usyk to make a weight. When the war started between Ukraine and Russia, Alexander Usyk hasn't been in the gym. He's just been focused on helping his country out. Alexander Usyk looks small. He looks like he's 190 and 200, maybe 200 pounds at his most. But Alexander Usyk is not a natural heavyweight, and he can make 200 no problem comfortably, because he's not used to carrying all that weight. I seen the picture when he was in an interview talking about the circumstances of Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that, and he looked at very small. So, and I just don't think that he should fight Alexander Usyk at all. I think that he shouldn't fight Dimitri Bivol at all. Now, if he wants to make a statement and prove to the world that I can beat this style, I can adjust to this style, I'm going to outclass this guy, we'll give him the rematch. We would like to see what you can do. But if you get in the ring with a guy like David Benavidez, who's going to simply apply the pressure just the same way that Bivol applied the pressure, throwing constantly punches, and David Benavidez gave Dimitri Bivol a game plan to pressure Canelo Alvarez, and David Benavidez was putting wear and tear on Dimitri Bivol, and Dimitri Bivol applied that same method, just with a little bit more boxy, classy skill, with a good jab, good 1-2, a good combination setup, punching, controlling the distance, and he beat Canelo Alvarez convincingly. Now, a lot of people feel like that Canelo Alvarez will get immediately stopped by David Benavidez, because David Benavidez would simply just overwhelm Canelo Alvarez with punches. But there's at times that David Benavidez can get lackluster on defense, because David Benavidez can't get out of the way of a jab. He's always have his head on a straight line, and a lot of people feel like if David Benavidez get in the ring with Jamal Charlo, it's going to be a blood show, because David Benavidez, you know, even though he applies the pressure, it's just the fact of the matter that he can't get his head off the line. So, with that being said, could Canelo Alvarez be going in a stage where Roy Jones Jr. was going in his career? He's starting to slow down and stuff like that. Who knows? We got to see what's going to happen in this Gennady Golovkin fight. It's going to probably tell a little bit all, but I'm seeing Canelo Alvarez stop Gennady Golovkin. If he can't get Gennady Golovkin out of there, this is signs that Canelo Alvarez is starting to slow down in his career, and it might not turn out for the better or the worse. So, whatever the case may be, guys. So, with that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.